Howdy folks and welcome to 15 Nautical Mile Arc. Today we are at Princess Juliana and we're going to fly over to St. Bart's. And the reason why I wanted to fly over to St. Bart's is because I wanted to see how it's modeled in the sim. I am running version 3 mesh, so that should help a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere as dramatic as it is in real life. But this is Princess Juliana where we're going to start from, and we'll fly back here sometime in the 727. I have a flight planned from San Juan, I think. We'll go from there to here, but not today. Today we're in the Twin Otter, which is exactly the plane you would be flying in if you're flying from here to St. Bart's. Now, I tried the Win Air livery, which would be the actual livery you would see, except it's broken for some reason. I don't know if the plane was updated and the livery just doesn't work anymore, but it didn't work. The nose was correct, but the rest of the fuselage had no paint. So I'm not sure what happened. I tried to fix it myself, didn't work, so we're just going to use Flybe or whatever this thing is. Kind of my go-to one if I don't want white paint. So anyway, this is, what you would actually do, what you would actually fly in and the way you'd fly, and we'll talk more about the airport and the approach once we're in the air. Both this airport, Princess Juliana, and St. Bart's are both on the Scenery Gateway, so they should be part of your sim as well, as long as you're running 10.4 or newer. This is 10.45. So enough of an introduction, let's just hop in, and we will get this thing started. I already turned on the light so people can board, and they can see what they're doing, and all that stuff. Kind of a quick look around here. Kind of a small airplane. If you don't like small airplanes, I don't know how comfortable you would be, but that's how it is. We'll shut that door and we'll hop up here. There's no closing sound. Hop over here, close the door as well. There we go. No static elements or anything. I just realized I forgot to take out my startup checklist. I'm going to do that right now. Alright, so here we are. I already turned on the battery and master DC because there's no external power modeled in this. So now we'll turn on any lighting that we might need. We'll do these two, and no smoking, and fasten your seatbelt, and this one, and that one, and I think that's all I need at the moment. We'll turn on taxi lights when we start to taxi. And what's next? We want to go down here, and we want to turn on... Oh, hang on. I knew I forgot something. That was kind of dark. We need to turn these guys on. Oh, that's a little brighter than normal, but whatever. And we'll just go... Oh, those are overhead. We don't need those. Turn that one down a little bit. That looks better. There we go. Now we can see our gauges much better. Alright, if we go over here, C will turn this guy on. And I'm actually going to put our destination in the GPS. We don't need to. We know where it is, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because we can. So we're going to go in here and clear out our flight plan from... actually, this is for a flight you haven't seen yet. I recorded these in a different order than I'm uploading, just to space out the longer flights a little bit. So you'll be seeing this in a couple videos from now. So get excited about that. Kind of a hint if you want to pause and look at where we are. That's okay. Let's see if I can do this. I'm used to the scroll wheel thing, which this doesn't have. I think I push that, and then I think I push that, and we're just going to put in our destination, which is Tango Foxtrot Foxtrot Juliet. So do I go like that? Well, there we go. Tango Foxtrot. Whoops. Good thing I'm not a doctor. I sure say whoops a lot. Can you imagine if I was a surgeon? Whoops every 2 seconds. Alright. St. Bartholomew, St. Bart's, which is also Gustav III or something like that. Gustav III. Except that, I should just go straight to it. Oh, I have to do direct, don't I? There we go. Alright, 17.5 nautical miles away. No radio approach, is purely VFR. In fact, in real life right now, it's pouring rain. I was going to do real life weather, but it's just pouring rain and the winds are really gusty, and they might not actually fly right now in real life. So, no real life weather for us at the moment. Alright, we're going to go over here. Whoops, let's do this one. Now let's turn on the fuel boost, which is up, even though up says off. I talk about that every single time. And what's next? Fuel levers to idle. I think it's, oh boy, this one. Gotta make sure all my stuff is reset. And fuel levers we do forward now because these, for some reason, do not pick up the axis on the yoke. So I can't use my yoke to turn those on. I have to do them manually. I just do them both at the same time to get it over with. So here we go over here. Engine igniters. This is to turn them both on. Then we flick this left. And I guess they're supposed to start up here. Sounds like it's firing up to me. There it goes. Let's do the other one. Maybe not. There we go. And there we go. Alright, what's next? We gotta turn on some more power. So we need generator power. We can turn off our lights now. Generators. Oh, here it is. I think you have to go. And I'll tell you why the sound stopped in a minute. Gotta reset it. Sometimes. There we go. And then turn it to on, or else our battery lights won't, or our generator lights won't turn off on the warning panel or whatever it's called. Okay, I'll talk about the sound right now. When your props are all the way back to feather, the sound goes away. If you want your sound back, you increase it all the way. I've talked about that before. I lost track where we were. Alright, de-icer, we don't need de-icer. It's like 70 degrees, even at cruise height. Pitot, I'll do that anyway. We're going to taxi in a second. Pitot heat, bleed air. And that's all you have to do. Of course, there's more you can do. There isn't much more that's modeled, though, actually. You can flick switches and stuff. It doesn't mean it's going to do anything. Alright, so let's have one final look outside. And then we will take off. So, one more look at Princess Juliana. Like I said, we'll be coming back here on a different flight in the future in a commercial jetliner from nearby. But for today, this is all we're going to see of it. So, we're just going to hop in, turn around, and take off from, is it runway 10 or runway 9? I think it's 9 here and 10 at St. Bart's. I had it written down, but I don't trust my notes here. Anyway, let's see. So let's take off the parking brake and give us a little bit of throttle here. Alright, I'm going to use an outside taxi today, just so I can see everything. Wow, look at those water reflections. That's awesome. I just want to be able to see everything, and there's no peripheral vision in the sim, so I talk about how that kind of drives me crazy, not being able to see. So we'll taxi down here to the end of the runway and take off. Alright, we're almost at the end of the runway. Of course, on the other side of that fence in front of us is the beach where you see all these famous videos on YouTube and pictures online of the big jumbo jets landing just over the fence line, and everybody thinks it's fake. But those of you watching this with me flying, we all know it's totally true. We'll be doing one of those landings ourselves in 727 in a couple videos from now. I guess I've already said that several times. Again, this is just default scenery, so I don't have any cabanas or beach scenery or anything. It is runway 10. See, I have runway 9 written down on my notes. but it's clearly 10. Look at the 10 in front of us. Alright, so let's stop here a second and we'll get some flaps down. Wow, that braking is hard today. Actually, I'm going to test my reversers. Okay, good. Set the parking brake, hop inside, get some flaps down. We don't need that much flap. We don't have to go very far. Here's a long runway. 20, no autopilot. No, I think my lights are a little dimmer than I want them to be. Let's turn those up. There we go, much better. No autopilot, we're just gonna follow our GPS over here. And I don't know, we'll fly around 7,000 feet or so. Whatever I feel like in the moment. And let's get out of here. Parking brake set, everything's forward. Let's do forward throttle. And away we go. One more look outside. Got the ocean. Watch where we're going. Alright, it's fixed gear, so we don't have to worry about gear, but it is positive rate. I'm going to fly to the end of the runway, and I believe if I looked at the chart right, you're required to make a right turn. You cannot make a left turn without special permission. Unless I have that backwards, right? Flaps all the way up. Let's go up here and turn on our landing lights, because we're never going to be flying that high. Let's go up here, turn off our taxi lights, and see where we're going. Okay, there we go, that works. There we go, let's look back. Poor people who have to listen to airplanes all day. Alright, let's level out, get off this land, and then follow our GPS to St. Bart's. You can already see St. Bart's up there. That's where we're going, the farther set of islands. You can definitely tell we're looking at version 3 mesh though. Alright, we'll come up this way a little bit. Already at 2,000 feet. GPS, what does it say? It's going to be an 8-minute flight. You know, I should have looked up their cruising altitude for this flight. I wonder if that's published somewhere. So essentially, we're headed right between those two peaks right there. Well, one quick look outside, then I'll talk about this airport. There you go. St. Martin, Princess Juliana. A couple of resorts down here in those bays. And there's another airport over there too. But we're headed to St. Bart's right now. Alright, I'm going to try to focus and talk. So St. Bart's is a big deal in real life. Only certain airplanes can land there. You need a special license to land there. And the reason for that is you need to approach over a steep hill, or need to approach over a hill, and then you make a steep nose down landing. And the reason why you can't come from the water side is because 99% of the time the winds are blowing towards land or inward. So if you were to land on the water side, your ground speed would have to be so fast to keep your airspeed alive that you would just be going too fast to land on the runway. So you have to land into the wind to keep your ground speed as low as possible while maintaining airspeed. And to do that, you have to land over the hill. Now, I was doing some research on this, discussing the types of landing, and a lot of people were bringing up forward slip to land technique, which is where you turn, you bank your ailerons one way while you move the rudder pedals the other way, and therefore you lose altitude very, very quickly without gaining any speed. And that works great if you're coming in high at an airport in a Cessna or something and you got to get down really fast. Normally you cannot do that with any flaps. Most aircraft you can. Some aircraft you can. So at this airport, I don't know if you would ever actually do that because you would be doing a full flap landing in pretty much any aircraft. But I guess if you wanted to forward slip to land, you could. In this aircraft though, in the Twin Otter, I looked up how you do this approach in the Twin Otter, and it specifically is stated you land full flap, nose down landing. So you're going to come over the hill with full flaps as slow as you can go, point the nose down. You will gain a little airspeed, but because you're doing full flaps, there's not going to be that much airspeed. And then with your reversers, it doesn't take very much to land at all. So that is how we're going to do it here. And looking at that scenery with the mesh, that looks pretty darn awesome. And again, full reflections in the water. If I had some clouds, we would see cloud reflections, but I figured we would just fly with Cirrus clouds today. Now we have to start coming down pretty soon though. So I'm going to kill the throttle here. I've never landed here in X-Plane. I have landed here in FSX many years ago, but not in X-Plane. So I'm hoping I can locate this without having to do a flyby. The problem with never flying to an airport before and not practicing before recording is I don't exactly know where that airport is. I just know it's between the bumps. So I don't know if that's it. I don't know if it's behind that hill. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a very good approach without seeing it first. I'm pretty sure that's it though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So I don't think I'm too far off there. So now we just got to come down. I've got the throttle all the way back, by the way. We need to come down and come over this hill with full flaps, slow airspeed, and then nosedive over this hill if there is one. Like I said, I don't know how this is modeled, which is why we're doing this in the first place. But regardless, that is a beautiful sight, isn't it? So I guess we didn't get up to 7,000. We're at like 4,500 or something. So we're going to come down here. I'm going to bleed off some speed, get some full flaps out, and then see what we can do. Those islands actually look like they're floating with the reflections under them. Alright, so there we go. Our runway is disappearing behind the hill. So with this version 3 mesh, we just might have a realistic approach. I'm trusting that the terrain is quite accurate to real life. It does use map data, so if it's a steep hill in real life, it should be a steep hill in the sim. Just a matter of deception because of the water. You can never tell how high you are. Of course, this runway is pretty much at sea level, so I know we're 1,000 feet above it. And we'll just keep descending here. I don't want to go too slow too soon because it'll take us forever to get there. But as you can see, we're bleeding off speed as I planned. Alright, I'm going to start concentrating here. But just enjoy the mesh. That is such a nice mesh. It almost seems photorealistic here anyway. Alright, looks like we've got some trees lined up with our runway, so we're going to have to cross some trees before we nose down. I'm getting a little more nervous than I thought I would be here. I want this to work out. Lukla landed okay. Hopefully this will land okay as well. Of course, this is no way meant to imply I can do these dangerous approaches in real life. Alright, so I see what we gotta do. We gotta come over here to line up with that runway. Still don't have any flaps out yet. I should have them out soon. I think I'm going to start putting them out now. Which means I'm going to crank up the throttle as well. It also means we're going to float all over the place, so we're going full flap, which makes it harder to control, really, for me anyway. Alright, see we floated way up. We're going to just come down, line up with this thing. I see traffic. Looks like we are going to have a pretty steep approach coming out for that hill. I'm pretty happy about that. In FSX, I remember doing this, and it was just flat. It was just a regular runway in FSX. I do believe in Prepared or FSX, there is a mission or something you can buy by Airsoft maybe, where it models all this, including the steep approach. I do not believe there's an equivalent in X-Plane. So yeah, we are going to be pretty steep here because I got to clear all this at a realistic level, then come down. So let's see how this goes. Don't want to take out those trees. We're going to come down now. Full flap, no throttle. We're going to land a little long, story of my life, but we don't want to touch down too hard either. We're going to float, I guess. Whoa. What was that? That was strange. We touched down before we touched down. We definitely have to look at the replay of that. What in the world happened? It was like we touched down, but we weren't down, and then we bounced. Well, hopefully the replay is accurate and we can see what in the world happened there. Why are my brakes so tough today? And let's turn around here. So anyway, there's a water side, but you can't land that way in real life because the wind is blowing inward here. Oh my gosh, I gotta fix my brakes. I'm gonna do that off camera, I'm not gonna take time now. And look, my rudder is stuck. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. What is going on here? Oh, I'm on fire. Alright, we're gonna stop here and check out this replay. I gotta figure out what happened. That was really, really, really strange. Let's figure this out. So there we are coming over the hill. And then it's a great landing. You see that? What happened? See? I didn't think I hit the ground. Was that like a glitch? Let's watch that one more time. Okay, so we came down. And we had a really good floating approach. But the engine, we crashed and it killed the engine. Alright, so we're coming in and everything's great, and then we crashed, so to speak, which caused the engine to stop. See, that's what happens when you crash an X-Plane. But we didn't actually crash. So strange. And I know my engine management is okay because I've flown this thing without... See, everything's dropping. So weird. So weird. Let's watch our runway view and have a stop at this. Alright, coming down over the hill, which isn't that big of a hill here, but so be it. Huh. I don't know what's happened, but something happened. Let's go back to real time. That's what happens when you crash. If you've ever wondered, your engine stopped. But I didn't crash. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so now I got a taxi back, which is really, really difficult when I only have one prop. I don't even think I can do it. He's just gonna blow us to the side, I think. Yeah, see? So let's just do this. And we don't want to overshoot because we'll never get straight again. Huh. I don't have to worry about engine management or anything because I have flown this thing full throttle all the time. I've never had to worry about engine management, so that wasn't it. It literally reacted as though we crashed and killed an engine. Anyway, I'll stop repeating myself. We'll just taxi back here and park this thing somehow. It's really, really difficult. I got my rudder all the way to the right. There we go. Now we're going to go a little bit. So you can see how much rudder it takes to compensate for that burnt out engine. Well, I found that very interesting. There's the birds. Oh, do you think we had a bird strike? Is that what it was? That's what it was. I bet we had a bird strike. Okay, this is very difficult to taxi with one. I guess I can maybe bring the props back a little. Will that help? Nope, that makes it worse. Let's just keep going here and we'll park up here. Oh man. Hey, I overheated or something. I don't know what's going on. That wasn't a bird strike. This is very strange because I've never worried about engine stuff in this aircraft. So there we sit. Alright, well, this is probably one of my most interesting situations I've ever run into with this simulator of this aircraft. I've never had this happen in this aircraft. We flew to St. Bart's. That hill obviously is nowhere near as dramatic in real life, but it tries. It tries hard. Well, that's it for today. Short flight. I didn't mean to fly much farther than this. So we landed. We made it. I think we'll just keep our passengers inside until we can get taxied with a tow bar somewhere safe. And we'll call it a day. Hope you enjoyed it. If you ran across me by accident or coincidence, please give me a subscribe. If you are watching all my flights, I hope you enjoyed this very unusual flight. A lot of things happened on this channel today that have never happened before. So anyway, so be it. Everyone survived. Hope I don't get sued. And we'll catch you on the next one. Alright, welcome back, folks. We're going to do a short final here. Just to see what happened. Because I thought it was a bird strike, but I reviewed the video and it didn't really look like a bird strike to me. So I'm kind of confused about what's going on here. So we are going to come in for another landing and see what happens. I also wanted to show you the livery that's broken. This is supposed to be Win Air. And the nose and wings are okay, but the fuselage is not right. I just wanted to show that to you, because I mentioned it in the last one. So anyway, we're going to do a short final here. And see if we crash again. I'm just wondering if it's like a scenery mishap where I thought we hit the ground, because the way that prop burned up, that's what happens when you crash. So I just want to see what happens. And I don't think I burned up my engines, because I've done many flights with this aircraft with my props and engines full blast for even hours at a time, and I've never had issues. So I don't think it was an engine management problem. And I'm not convinced now that it was a bird strike problem. So we're just gonna have another go at it here and see what happens. The only difference between this time and my flight you just watched was I removed a whole bunch of fuel for this, but we'll see. And we're gonna go full flaps, hover around 80 knots or so. I'm gonna try to simulate what I did. So I'm gonna try to get close to the ground, but we're still about 10-15 feet above the ground when we crash or whatever, so I just want to see what happens here. See if it happens again. That big semi trying to make those corners. Alright, so we're gonna slow down a lot now, so when we nose down we gain the right amount of airspeed. So we're going to almost stall, but then we're going to come down at idle and let's see if it crashes again without touching the ground. Nope. Yep, see? It did it again. I told you. Aha! Aha! There has to be a scenery problem because it crashed again. And let's watch that again. So here we go, coming down. And it's going to think we crashed really hard. See that? It thinks we're crashing. That is so interesting. Now, there's one more thing we're going to try. I'm going to go to my settings, and we're going to Runaways Follow Terrain Contours. Turn that off. I normally have that off anyway, because I just don't like bouncing on runways. So we're going to turn that off. That means I have to restart the sim, I believe. So I'm going to restart the sim. We'll be right back.